All right, here we go. This is Seewing Yee from the Real Estate Network. Thank you for attending, everyone. And once again, I'm inviting back my business colleague, Antoine Background. He's going to do the presentation for today's opportunity, and he will discuss the Midwest market, mainly, I believe, Cleveland, Ohio. That's our focus for this presentation here. Correct me if I'm correct, Antoine.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, so if it is, then this webinar is being recorded. It'll be approximately 20 minutes long. And once again, I'm inviting Antoine Markel back from the from Markel Turnkey Investing, and they will have some. He will have some great presentation on the Cleveland, Ohio market. So without further ado, go ahead, Antoine, proceed with your presentation on the Cleveland market.
Awesome. Thanks again for having me back. And yeah, last time we spoke about Memphis, so excited today to finally got some inventory in Cleveland. So excited to again talk to everybody about Cleveland, Ohio. So first, a little bit more about me. My name is Antoine Martel. I was born in Toronto, raised in San Mateo, California. Currently, I'm living in Los Angeles. I'm a graduate from Loyola Marymount University, which is why I moved down here from the Bay Area. My major was business. And shortly after I graduated, I got an internship with a successful commercial real estate investor here in Los Angeles. I was helping him with ground up construction deals, helping him find funding and also find projects that would work, that would make sense to build from the ground up apartment buildings. While I was doing that, I was also
Uh-oh.
and I eventually, with that portfolio that I was growing out of state, achieved financial freedom through that portfolio that I had been growing on the side. And once my friends and family started to hear that I was working full time and also had grown my portfolio, they started to reach out to me and wanted to do the same. So we began to sell part of our portfolio, and we began to find more projects and more properties for our friends and family to purchase, since we had already the teams all built up out of state, the contractors, property management company, realtors, etc. So why did we start a turnkey company? Well, to be frank, we just got too big. So we started to sell to friends and family, and we helped them achieve financial freedom. Then they started to tell their friends, because everybody likes to talk about where they're investing and about the money they're making passively from real estate out of state. It's a big talking point. When people say that they live in California and they invest in Memphis, Tennessee or Cleveland, Ohio and own real estate out there. So just through word of mouth, our business began to spread, and it became to a point where it was just too much emails back and forth. So I decided to create a website and began to help other people. So friends of friends and family friends, I could start to just send them to our website. They could see what properties we had available, and we can go from there. When we started talking to these new investors, we realized some other pain points of other turnkey companies, and we realized we could do it better, because we were treating our friends and family we were treating all of our clients as friends and family, because they were. So we were doing, the turnkey business in the right way, whereas these other turnkey companies were just selling properties without tenants in place. They were selling them over what they were worth, etc. So a little bit about why we're different. There's three main points. The first one is day one cash flow. So we sell all of our turnkey rental properties with a tenant in place. So you have cash flow from day one. In Cleveland, Ohio, all of our tenants come on 12-month leases. If you invest with us in Memphis, Tennessee, those are 24-month leases or 2-year leases that we sign our tenants on. The second major point is that you never overpay for your rental properties when you work with us. You're always going to pay fair market value for those properties. So we always sell our properties for their appraised value or less. No more overpaying for your rental properties. If an appraisal comes in low, we'll work with you. We'll work with the bank to get that appraisal up, or we'll just drop our price to that appraised value, because we want you to buy these properties for fair market value and to know that you got a good deal. The third and final point is that we use all third-party property management companies. All the companies that we refer you to are not our companies. we'll refer you to them, and we don't receive any commission or referral fees for sending you over to those property management companies. These are just companies that we've been using since the beginning. They manage our personal portfolio. They manage all of our clients' portfolio in these markets. And they're just people that we trust. To give you a broad overview of our different markets, here it is. We invest in Memphis, Birmingham, Cleveland, Ohio, and Akron, Ohio. Today, we'll just be talking about Cleveland, Ohio. So a little bit of background about Cleveland. Cleveland has a very diverse workforce, education and health services being the major industry in Cleveland, which is 19% of the total workforce. So it's a very well-diverse workforce. And the reason why we look for that is to help prevent against what happened in Detroit, where one industry leaves and then the entire market collapses. So we want to make sure that if education and health services completely leaves for some reason, Cleveland, that there's a ton of other jobs to kind of hold up the economy there, which there is. The largest employers in Cleveland, Ohio: Progressive, Sherman-Williams, Key Corp, and Cleveland Clinic. Cleveland Clinic's headquarters is actually in Cleveland, and they are rated the second best hospital in the U.S. Other than that, Cleveland also has 10 Fortune 500 companies, which are all located downtown. Cleveland's home to 3 major sports teams: the Cavaliers, the Indians, and Browns, which are all 3 different sports. So tons of sports fans in the city. Amazon also has announced over the last 12 months, really, that they're building 2 warehouse facilities in 2 different neighborhoods of Cleveland, one of them being in East Cleveland in the Euclid neighborhood, and another one which is a little bit further south in one of the suburbs. Also in that Euclid neighborhood, Cleveland was just funded. They got funded for a $7 million trail project along the lake. So only 5 to 10% of the lake is actually accessible to the public. But with this $7 million project, they're going to build a really nice walkway and bikeway pathway along the lake, and that's going to be located in Euclid, which is going to be really close to one of our properties that I'm going to talk to you about later on. Typical financials for properties in Cleveland, Ohio: B-class properties are going to be anywhere from a 7 to 9% cap rate. C-class properties are going to be a 9 to 10% cap rate. B-class properties are going to have anywhere from 10 to 15% cash-on-cash return, while C-class is going to be a little bit higher at 15 to 20% cash-on-cash return. The property management company that we have in Cleveland, Ohio, has over 10 years of experience. They have 1,200 plus doors under management. They charge 10% for their management fees, and they do very rigorous tenant screening. They don't let any tenants apply with prior evictions. Income must be 3 times rent, and you cannot have a criminal record. They also have a transparent owner portal for tracking your portfolio. So once you do grow your portfolio large, like 5 or 10 properties, all with that same property management company, it really helps because you can see the inflows and outflows of all of your financials for all the properties and all the work orders that are going on. So it keeps everything under one roof and makes everything very trackable and easy to follow. Now I'll be talking about a couple of properties that we have available in Cleveland today. So the first one is a single family home in a neighborhood called Parma, which is just outside of Cleveland. The second one is a duplex in the city, very close to downtown. And the third one is also a duplex, and it's in North Collinwood, which is very close to Euclid, which is where the new Amazon facility and the trail project are happening. So the first one, this is a single family home. Address is 1721 Tuxedo Avenue. It's in Parma, Ohio, which is a very nice B-class neighborhood in Ohio. The purchase price is $120,000. The current rent is $1,100, which gives it a cap rate of 8, cash-on-cash return of 14, and net cash flow per month of $314. And then if you want to see a kind of breakdown of that, it's over there on the right-hand side where you can see the rental income, $1,100 per month, property taxes of $118, insurance of $41, property management $110, which is 10% of the rental income. And then the NOI is $831. After debt service, you're going to be around $314 in net cash flow per month. And again, this is a B-class neighborhood, very high-end neighborhood. To have rents of $1,100 for a single-family home, that's very good. And the tenant is on a 1-year lease. The second property that we have available is 7914 Halley Avenue. This property is in a different neighborhood. It's a little bit closer to downtown and what's also called Ohio City, which is a very hipster, young, vibrant neighborhood that's come up in the last couple of years. So this property is about 10 minutes from downtown and then about a mile to Ohio City. So tons of young millennials are moving into this neighborhood. Purchase price here is $74,000. Current rents is $1,050 per month, which gives it a cap rate of 10%, cash on cash return of 16, net cash flow per month of $288. Then if you want to see a breakdown of that, you can see it on the right-hand side again. You'll notice something a little bit different as you go through it. You'll see that lawn, water, and sewer is also an expense. So for these duplexes, you can't pass everything on to the tenants. You do have to, as the owner, pay for certain utilities. And for these properties, that is lawn, water, and sewer, which come to around $150 per month. After all is said and done, and after you put 25% down for this property, the net cash flow per month is $288 per month. And again, both of these units are rented out on a 1-year lease. The third and final property is 380 East 165th in Cleveland, Ohio. This property is in a neighborhood called North Collinwood, which is my favorite neighborhood. This is where I like to own a lot of real estate right now, especially because it's so close to Euclid. It's just it's about a mile to Euclid, and then it's about a 10-minute drive to the Amazon warehouse and about a 10-minute drive to that new trail project that's going on along the lake. Purchase price here is $92,500. Current rents $1,250 per month. Cap rate of 10%. Cash on cash return of 17, and a really good net cash flow per month of $369. And again, you'll see that lawn, water, and sewer is also in the financials over here for $150 per month. And that's all that I have. We also help many of our clients get financing, get insurance, and if you don't have any W-2 income, we can also help with that. And we hook you up with our property management company that we have on the ground. So it's really about finding a property where the numbers make sense for you, and then going through that property, and we have all of the people that you could possibly need along your journey to help you make a successful investment out of state.
Well, Antoine, thank you for presenting. Your presentation pretty much meet our expectation, and the numbers seems very, very reasonable, and we share the same core philosophy, Antoine, and that's why my organization has been promoting the last few years the Midwest markets, including Cleveland. So, we again, you and I with the same philosophy, same turnkey system. So we have a good synergy working together. So, and of course, I know you well enough that you have the ability to pick the right neighborhood, to pick the right the properties rehab, good turning renters in place, and you have all the property management, which is very, very important. That's very reassuring to have property management, because that will make or break a investor's long-term success. So so you know your market very well. So you've done most of the research for investors out there, and it's a matter of a particular investor understand the value of buying Midwest market in Cleveland, given what's going on. And at the same time, you and I have been discussing for a while now, the inventory is lacking. There's the demand for this type of rental homes for other investors are very, very strong, and the supply is very, very low. So I have to assume that the few property that you presented to us will go in a matter of a few days. So,
they sure do.
That's how the game is played, Antoine. Because again, with your organization, I know you have investors that purchased from you in the past, and they are about to buy, keep buying through you because they trust you already. And of course, you have your own in-house investors from overseas, from throughout the U.S., or also pouncing on this available inventory whenever they come up. So, That's how the game is played, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, and also the Cleveland market is really heating up. As Austin, Texas, all Austin, Texas, and you have these other markets, Atlanta, Georgia, Nashville, that are all blowing up. These markets that are still in this sweet spot price range, less than $100,000, are I think over the next couple of years are going to explode. So now is the time to buy before the interest rates go up and before Cleveland explodes. And you really want to invest before a market explodes, and then you can sell it in 3 or 5 years and double your money.
Exactly, exactly. That's right. It's all about the timing. Just
Yep.
take advantage of opportunities before they go away. And you're right, cash flow is still happening in Cleveland, even potential for appreciation. So very undervalued market. But anyway, so if those investors out there, my members, if you're motivated, if you're serious, of course you can contact me so we can talk a little bit about your goals and objectives. And then after I pre-qualify my prospective investors, after they hear this presentation, then I will release you guys to talk to Antoine at least by email first, and
Yep.
then once I get you pre-approved, if you're doing financing, I have a well, actually, Antoine and I share the same loan agent for the most part,
Yep.
which is Advani from Wells Fargo, so great loan agent. But yep, that's the steps, and yep. So that's pretty
Awesome.
much
Thanks for
it.
having me.
Yeah, great. Thank you, sir. Thank you for doing the presentation, Antoine. Looking forward to working with you and to help our investors to buy in Cleveland. Thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely. No problem. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Thank you. Bye bye.